welcome once again to M5's English language learning program, Let's Speak English. I'm Gav Duncan and I'm here on your TV screen to help you learn English. Now, are you sitting comfortably? Yes? Good. And are you ready for today's lesson? Yes? Good. Okay, well let's learn English together. All right, people, welcome back to the studio. Welcome back to this, the next week of lessons. And how was your weekend? Did you have fun? Did you go out on Friday night looking gorgeous and smelling like something fantastic? Did you go dancing on Friday night? Did you go out with your friends? Did you go to the cinema? Maybe you went to the theatre, or the ballet, or the opera. I have no idea. Anyway, I don't know what you did. And, well, honestly, it's not important what you did. The important thing is that you enjoyed yourselves when you were doing what you were doing. So, let's hope that everyone had a great, a fantastic, a terrific, a wonderful, a marvellous weekend. And now, after you slept well last night, let's hope that you're all ready for this week. Let week 76 begin! Alfredo tried to write a shopping list at home, but the whole thing descended into chaos. There were empty boxes of cereal that someone put back into the cupboard. There was confusion about how much coffee and sugar was needed, and Tim crept out of the kitchen into the living room to watch TV. He didn't want to help with the shopping at all. He just wanted to sit at home on his own, lazing about. Alfredo didn't like Tim's way of thinking, so Alfredo decided that the idea of writing a shopping list was a waste of time. Okay, so forget the shopping list. That's what Alfredo decided. He decided that they would just go to the supermarket and fly by the seat of their pants. Yes, that's right. Alfredo decided to throw caution to the wind and improvise. Alfredo's plan was to go to the supermarket and just try to remember what they need. Also, because this isn't the first time that they've done the shopping, they all know, more or less, give or take a few things, what they normally eat, drink, use and consume. So it's not like they're shopping for a new, different family. No, they're shopping for themselves, so they know what they normally buy. So it should be simple enough. Even if they do buy something that they don't need, they can always store it somewhere until they do need it, can't they? Of course they can. They can store it in the garage or somewhere like that. Okay, so they got to the shops without any problems. But then, well, things started to go wrong. Alfredo forgot where he'd parked the car. Tim volunteered to go and locate or find the car, and Alfredo let him go, but told him to be back in 10 minutes at the latest. With Tim gone, another problem surfaced. The Benchfields needed a coin to release a trolley from the line of trolleys, and they didn't have the right change. Alfredo had a 50p coin, but at this supermarket you need a £1 coin to get a trolley. None of the kids had any money, so Alfredo gave John a fiver, £5, and sent him off to get change so that they could get a trolley. John went off, and when he came back, he did have a £1 coin, so that was good. Unfortunately, in order for John to get the £1, he had to buy a few things in the newsagents. John went over the top a little bit and spent most of the money. John almost spent £5 to get £1, and his father wasn't very happy. John bought his father a magazine at the newsagents, but he didn't check what kind of a magazine he was buying, and he bought a fishing magazine for his dad. Unfortunately, Alfredo hates fishing. He thinks it's a stupid sport. Sitting next to a river with a stick in your hand, waiting until it's time to go home. So, even though John was trying to be nice to his dad, it didn't work. Anyway, they moved into the supermarket, but Alfredo noticed that Tim was still outside. He hadn't come back. Alfredo asked Lizzie to go and find Tim and bring him back. Alfredo asked Lizzie to fetch Tim. While Lizzie went to find Tim and bring him back, Alfredo, Doreen and John started shopping. The idea was that when Lizzie and Tim came back into the supermarket, they would look for the others and then they'd all continue the shopping. So far, so good. And for a while, things went very well. Alfredo, Doreen and John started in the fruit and veg section, and with Doreen guiding them, Doreen knows her onions about fruit and veg, the Benchfields started to make progress. Meanwhile, however, Lizzie had found Tim, and there was something fishy going on. Lizzie found Tim talking to Eddie Finn, the local bad boy, and immediately she sensed that there was something not right about the situation. She was suspicious of Eddie and Tim and thought that they were up to something. She asked Tim what Eddie said to him, and Tim told her very aggressively to mind your own business. Tim also told Lizzie to keep her mouth shut and not tell their dad about his conversation with Eddie. Back in the supermarket, Alfredo was getting impatient. He wanted to know where Lizzie and Tim were. So, leaving Doreen in charge of John, he went off to try and find Lizzie and Tim. Alfredo was looking for Lizzie and Tim when he found himself in the cheese section. Now, Alfredo likes cheese. I mean, he really likes cheese. Really, really. Alfredo is a cheese nut. He loves the stuff. So, he started to pick up the cheese that he wanted to buy. His arms were full of cheese because the trolley was with Doreen and John. Alfredo didn't have a trolley, so he just piled the cheese up in his arms, higher and higher. Now, Alfredo had a problem in that he couldn't find the pecorino. He found a shop assistant and asked the shop assistant where the pecorino was. But the shop assistant couldn't help. He didn't work in the cheese section, he was just passing through. But the assistant offered to find out for Alfredo and went off to find someone from the cheese section. When the shop assistant came back, however, he didn't have any information. He only had a basket. The shop assistant explained that he couldn't find anyone to ask, but he brought a basket for Alfredo to put the cheese into. Alfredo wasn't happy with the shop assistant and he turned away. But because of all the cheese he had in his arms, Alfredo couldn't see where he was going and he fell over into a load of smelly French cheese. Poor Alfredo. He was sitting in the middle of the cheese aisle, covered in cheese, smelling worse than a homeless dinosaur's armpit. And that's when the kids all turned up. So, the family was back together, but Alfredo had had enough. He decided that it was time to stop the shop and told the kids that they were going home. He ordered the kids back to the car. Doreen and John were very reluctant to leave. Doreen explained that the shopping was almost finished. While Alfredo had been collecting cheese and falling over, Doreen and John had been doing the shopping, and now the trolley was almost full and most of the shopping was finished. Doreen and John argued logically that it would be a waste of time to leave the shopping trolley and just go home. They persuaded their dad that the best thing was to finish the shopping, to go to the cashier right away and then go home. That way, as they argued, the whole afternoon wouldn't have been wasted. This way, they almost finished the shopping, so their time wasn't wasted. The shopping trip wasn't pointless. Alfredo saw the logic of what they were saying, and so off they all went, all of them, to the checkout. Now, at the checkout, something strange happened. Tim vanished. 1 minute he was there, and the next, there was no sign of him. Yep, he just disappeared. And then, when everyone started looking for him, suddenly there was a commotion, a chaotic kerfuffle in the canned comestible section. Everyone rushed to see what was going on. Well, now that's not 100% true, is it? Almost everyone rushed to see what was going on, but Lizzie went in the other direction, didn't she? So, when we caught up with Tim, he was flopping about on the floor like a lunatic, screaming that his brain was exploding. After things had calmed down a bit, Alfredo asked Tim what was going on, but Tim couldn't or wouldn't explain. And then someone turned up, didn't they? Yes. 1 minute, the family was looking at Tim, and Doreen and John were talking about how sad it was that their brother had gone mad. And the next minute, Dave Squid the policeman, was there, standing next to them. Looking back, it seems like this was the straw that broke the camel's back. Alfredo's brain went a bit tonto. Alfredo's brain had been under a lot of stress all day long, and his brain had reached its limit. So even though Dave wasn't causing any problems, when Dave appeared, this, for Alfredo, was the last straw, and his brain shut down. Part of the reason that Alfredo's brain shut down was the fact that Dave told him some things which confused him. Dave told Alfredo that the security manager asked for help from the police. And the reason that the manager called the police was because a shopper had provided or given him information about something. That shopper was Lizzie Benchfield, Alfredo's eldest daughter. Alfredo thought that Lizzie's head was full of daft spy stories, and that's why she was always so suspicious. Alfredo thinks that Lizzie watches too many TV series about spies. She's always watching cloak and dagger things on the TV. So he thought that she was just letting her imagination run away with her. But in actual fact, she wasn't, was she? No, she was right all along. There was something fishy going on. That's why she went to see the security manager, and that's why the security manager called the police. There is something fishy going on. There is some cloak and dagger style stuff happening. And that's what we're going to discover. That's the last part of the mystery. We're finally getting to the last part of the mystery. What exactly is going on? And why is Tim not happy with Lizzie? Any ideas? Well, if you know, or you think you know, or even if you don't have a clue and are still completely in the dark, like Alfredo, we're going to find out very soon, but not today. No, as you've probably noticed, the lesson has come to an end, and it's time for us to go our separate ways for the day. Never mind, you go that way and I'll go this way, and we'll meet here in the studio at the same time tomorrow. Okay? Right then, I've got to go home and have a coffee. And, well, as for you, what about the dog, the cat, and the parrot? The dog needs a walk, the cat needs some milk. And if you don't test the parrot's Esperanto vocabulary, then the parrot is never going to get better at Esperanto, is it? No, so chop chop, hop to it. I'll see you all tomorrow, and remember, if you have a spare moment and you've got some spare energy, check out the website, the one with all the K's, www.mediaclick.hu. That's where you can find some of our old lessons, and that's where we keep the most important vocab. So, go on, check it out! Alright people, have fun whatever you do, and I'll see you all tomorrow. See you later, bye!